Of course, tonight's broadcast presented by Asphalt Racing Network with a sponsor of decals, paint, and photoshops, and of course, Young Hitter Collectibles for all of your new and vintage needs. Be sure to check them out on Whatnot. It is time for the trucks at Darlington. Right time 2:25 here tonight. As always, on behalf of Asphalt Racing Network, it's your man in the sky, Tyler T-Bone Jones. Oh, a lot of spinning happening in turn 2 right now. Or as some call me, Young Hitter himself. Qualifying underway right now, and there is a lot of bumps and bruises happening on the field right now. Seems like it might be a little difficult for some of these drivers in the truck series tonight, as it is going to be a tough race here. Turn 1 and 2 has already been unforgiving so far, and the question is, how long will these drivers have to confidently and comfortably keep those tires underneath the trucks here tonight? Of course, looking through the field, it is scrolling through now. You're seeing the drivers that are joining us here tonight, getting their qualifying time started now, or finishing up their qualifying times. Of course, as always, 25 laps ad-free as normal. So if you aren't, and you didn't get that one of those 5 gifted subs yesterday, be sure to hit that sub button. If you are an Amazon Prime member, you get 1 free sub a month to use after that first 5. After that first month, you'll have to resub, of course, with Prime, but you do get 1 to use. Of course, not too far from the followers' goal here. 242 of you guys following. We are nearing 250. But of course, qualifying taking its toll on some of the drivers right now. Times are looking pretty similar. Everybody's at least within a few tenths or thousandths of each other. Kind of tapers off a little bit after your top 5, and then it kind of goes down a little bit by about a tenth, 2 tenths per person. So of course, that's really going to be the biggest thing here tonight. The drivers that qualify up front are most likely going to be the ones to consistently stay up there for a long amount of time. Still, race can be unforgiving at times, so you've really got to wonder, or you got to think, will anybody that qualifies within the top 5 be there at the end of the race as well? Sometimes that doesn't work out in their favor. You get wrecked out. Any possibility can really happen. So, of course, that being a big situation here, looking forward for the rest of the night, seeing there Jesse Singleton Tokyo drifting the track, coming out of 1 and 2. Unforgiving field tonight. Of course, Darlington just ran in officials not too long ago in the C-Class trucks. So, of course, drivers, if they did run, they would know how to drive it. If I was on the track, I'd probably be confident in a win tonight, as I got one here in the first outing in officials. This track is unforgiving, especially at night. Makes it a little bit more difficult to have to maneuver. And now we're going to have to see the names. Now we're going to have to see some of these guys try their hardest to get it done. 4 minutes, 50 seconds before we hit a green flag. And of course, before we get to our green flag, we're going to take one commercial break. show our affiliates and our sponsors here at Asphalt Racing Network. So now is the time to go get your drinks, get your family, get your friends, share the live, share the broadcast to all your friends and families. Blow up every Discord you're in, every Facebook page you're in as well. And we will catch you just before we go grid.
Welcome to VMT Collectibles, your pit stop for premium collectibles. We specialize in authentic 118, 124, and 164 scale die-cast cars from top brands like NASCAR, NHRA,
Where's that
Hot
Bass Pro
Wheels,
at?
ERTL, GMP, and Auto World. From rare chase pieces to limited edition releases. But we are more than just diecast. Explore our curated section of retro video games, action figures, and hard-to-find collectibles that fuel nostalgia and passion. Live on Whatnot for heart-pounding bidding wars and instant deals. Can't make the stream? Be sure to follow us on Facebook for previews of upcoming shows at VMT Collectibles. Once again, that is VMT Collectibles.
Roughly 40 seconds left before we go to a grid. And we figure out who has got the pole here tonight. Opportunity for drivers to get some pack racing practice in now. Of course, I don't believe this race will be done under night conditions. Well, it might be a little bit better for the drivers. Looking at the weather right now, about 90 degrees on the track. Good God, that is hot. 78% humidity, no wind. So there's not going to be any factors of wind at all within these corners, which is also a good thing as well. Should have played this at the end of last night's race. Now, of course, drivers getting ready for the grid as the pace car is on the front stretch just past the line. We are going to be in daytime conditions here. So hopefully not too slick of a track for these drivers tonight. Looking at your grid for a 28 car field, 27, excuse me. Mike Nitti Jr. in the 64 takes the pole position here tonight. Mark Morton sits in second. David Callahan in third place, with Ray Pinola in fourth. Rounding out your top five is going to be Chad Bass. Just outside in sixth is going to be Jesse Singleton. Garrett Crawford, in seventh. Damon Dean in eighth. Aaron Wright himself in ninth place. Then, of course, in 10th, rounding out your top 10 is going to be Laird Landers. Looking outside of our top 10 right now is going to be the 82 of DJ Norris in 11th. Then, of course, Matthew Francis in 12th. Jared Smith sitting in 13th place with Stephen Jack in 14th. Taylor Miner in 15th, with Jim Felix on the outside in 16th position. John Marino in 17th. Blake Sharrow in 18th. Josh Ryder and Tyler Gentry rounding out your top 20 drivers. Kevin Nolf sitting in 21st, with Chad Leary in 22nd. Nathan McGee in 23rd. Mark Randall Jr. in 24th. Mickey Stewart, the People's Champ, in 25th. Christopher DeWald in 26th. Then, of course, Brianna Laurent in 26th position, as Jeffrey Bourne is not on the track. Pace car off in the Veterans United restart zone. On the 64, we are green. Long race ahead of these drivers here. 165 laps here tonight. Of course, we know, we have seen it before. Mike Nitti is a very dominant driver in these trucks. Early on, he sets the pace. Sometimes he'll fall back a little bit, but he always manages to find his way back up in the front in that 64 Dunder Mifflin truck. Now the 99 of Mark Morton, not too far behind. Already giving a little bit of a fight to the 64 in the lead. David Callahan still in third place right now, with Ray Pinola in fourth. Top six drivers have not moved at all. Damon Dean is seventh, up one. Crawford down. Aaron Wright still in his position in ninth. DJ Norris just squeaking himself into the top 10. At this point in time, up a position already. Now, of course, only lap 3 in so far. 0.3 of a second, Nitti is over Morton. It's looking pretty good so far for all drivers involved. Of course, the trucks practically being the Premier Series as of right now. Everything has been clean. It has been immaculate racing across the board, as far as close as possible as it can be. Of course, your top two right now in a points battle. Mike Nitti is only 36 points behind your current points leader, Mark Morton. So this is definitely a fight to watch here tonight. Who will finish in front of who will knock some points down. Of course, stage points as well help toward the situation. Right now, Nitty only has 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, more than even across the board. 4 top 10s, 4 top 5s, 2 wins to Mike Nitty's 1. Now looking back to the 10th position right now, Matthew Francis, the number 45 on your screen. Just in front is DJ Norris, Jared Smith not too far behind. Everybody kind of already going single file here tonight. That's probably a good thing. Looking at a zoomed out portion of the track, we're looking at the mid-pack. You see the leaders crossing the line right now, and it's actually starting to get pretty close for the leader of Mike Nitty at this point in time, as you're starting to slowly see Morton catch some ground here. Probably not as much ground as Morton wants on him, but he's making it shake right now. Morton onto the inside, just on the quarter panel. Not able or not comfortable enough to make the run there, so decides to back out of it within reason. Jesus, looking at chat, tempted fate with a 35 stream streak, dude. Dedication. Gonna let the camera bounce itself around right now following the 19 of Damon Dean. He is currently in 8th place. Trying to make slow work of everything going on the field right now. Behind him in the 82 with DJ Norris, 45 of Matthew Francis. Only at lap 12 so far. Johnny, appreciate the hype train incoming now, guys. 207 bits, man. Salute to you, Johnny. One of the, I would say, second most consistent ARN viewer. I don't know what your stream streak's sitting at, but you're about here every time we go live, man. So we appreciate it. Not only do we appreciate Johnny and Fate, we appreciate everybody who tunes in here live on Twitch. And of course, all of you guys who rewatched it on YouTube when it is re-uploaded. Looking to the back of the field right now. We're looking at the one car of Nathan McGee. Seems like Jim Felix probably got into the wall a little bit there. Looked like he really snapped that car to the left. Christopher DeWald in the 87. He's currently sitting in 18th. This is your driver that won last night's ARCA race at Las Vegas. A lot of contact with the wall from a few cars in front. I believe that's the 33 of Blake Sharrow. Now looking back up to the top of the field. Mike Nitti still in it strong in the lead. All 15 laps up to this point in time have all been led by Mike himself. Now let's look back at DJ Norris now. Chad Bass in second place. Morton falling down to fourth place. Callahan still holding third strong. I want to look at 10th place and see their laps compared to the leaders' laps right now. Last lap for DJ Norris was a 31.887. The leader is running a 31.527. So about 0.3 off pace as there is a wreck just in front. Fate, appreciate the 300 bits, my friend. 16 laps in. And the number one man himself, Aaron Wright, 78 around. Let's go ahead and go to the replay. See exactly what happened with Aaron. Probably getting loose in the turn there. Actually washed up the track, unfortunately. Caught a little bit of that 51 there of Jesse Singleton. Jesse, hopefully not too much damage to that outside. You see Aaron's got it jacked up right front. A lot of damage going to need to be put onto that truck here tonight. Now he's going to have to sit in pits and get some of it off. No fast repairs. No fast repairs. And speaking of fast repairs, if you guys were here to watch the 17 cautions that were pulled last night at ARCA in Las Vegas, breaking the 2001 ARCA Menards actual record at Vegas, we now have breaking developments that the ARCA series is moving to a no fast repair series as well. Still a hype train going 62% with 20 seconds left. If you have an opportunity, don't let it run out. Aaron not sitting in pitch for too long. C still has a jacked up front end, not trying to lose time. He was only in pitch for 29.150. Currently at the time of the caution, Mike Nitti Jr. still in the lead. Chad Bass now on the outside. Callahan and Crawford going to be lining up side by side here for the restart. It's going to be in the Veterans United Craft Brewery restart zone. This time by as the pace lights are off. Now majority of the field should be caught back up. If not, the entire field should be ready to go here. Pace car off. Back in the Veterans United Craft Brewery restart zone. Nitti takes us back to green flag racing conditions. Of course, this is the right time sim racing 225. Top four drivers already choosing to go single file early on. Kind of expected a little bit more fighting here. This is a two-lane track. You really can get two grooves. Of course, that entry is where you want to be. Matthew Francis into the wall back there, recovered. Still pretty slow. Drivers having to duck and dodge right now. .45 having difficulty, still in the wall. Really off pace right now. Of course, 22 laps out of 165 in total. 40 laps for this stage. We are just over the halfway mark. Francis going to come in this time, I am assuming, as he's entering in 3 and 4 for a long pit road. No, overshot pits. Wasn't able to go in this time. That's going to put him a lap down now, unless he was on the wrong pit road. He was not on the wrong pit road. So now Francis going to have to go a lap down, as he is obviously having trouble with his truck here. Mike Nitti now in front. These lead cars possibly do not know what they're about to come up on. As long as Francis is on the apron, everything should go good here. It is a big track on the top side. Like I said, only a 2 to 3 lane run from that dotted line up to the wall. Francis now 28 laps back, currently in pits now. But there is a caution out on the field. The 6 of Brianna Laurent. At least she didn't flip. We ain't seen a flip from her in a very long time. Brianna working tirelessly with the trucks and the ARCA cars to really improve performance. Of course, Darlington getting the best of her there. No damage. Good save to the 6 car. Of course, now she'll go in pits. The time of the caution, Mike Nitti was your leader. Nitti actually going into pits now, so David Callahan will take that over. Aaron Wright going back into pits to get some of that damage taken off. Jesse Singleton in now. Jim Felix, Tyler Gentry, Chad Leary, and Francis all in pits this time by. Now it's David Callahan's turn to lead the field back to green after we do choose cone this time by. Now this time by the line, it should be choose. David going to go to the bottom side is what it looks like, unless he's faking out. Callahan to the bottom, Bass up top. Interesting move for Callahan as well. Now, of course, as always, we'll be back to green this time by. Pace car off now. David Callahan, that lime green machine you can't miss on the bottom of your screen. Going to take us back to green flag in the Veterans United Craft Brewery restart zone now. Callahan with a really good jump, 13 laps to go within stage numero uno. Caution already out again in the back of the field. Tyler Gentry. Tyler seems to have money shifted and just blew his truck. No, very bad head-on collision. See him make a contact. 33 of Blake Sharrow also involved in that. 15 takes a direct hit with the nose to the front of the wall. Sharrow really not getting much, but Jim Felix feeling some of that damage on the right front as he's the one that connected with the wall. Kind of absorbed all the impact for the 33, Blake Sharrow in that Xfinity scheme. Of course, flagman waving the yellow. This time by the line for another choose cone opportunity after the pits open. Ladies and gentlemen, 13 of you guys watching live right now, it's still not late. Put your picks into chat. Let those drivers know who you're voting for and rooting for, because these guys do rewatch these streams, and the chat is the highlight of their racing as well. Seeing who they're cheering for or seeing if they're being cheered on, it does drive those guys harder on a weekly basis to do just a little bit better than the week before. So make sure you're putting your driver picks in chat if you already haven't. And after you get done typing, if you already haven't, hit that follow button, turn your notifications on to be notified when we go live here on the Asphalt Racing Network. You've got enough days to figure it out. We go live Mondays for American Stock Car Racing League, Wednesdays for the ARCA series for Right Time, Thursdays for the trucks, which you're watching now. Then, of course, NARS Truck Series, Season number 1 on Fridays, with Season 3 Gen 6 cars moving to Next Gen on Saturdays. So there's a lot of racing action for you here tonight. And, of course, the entire week to go as well. As always, Asphalt Racing Network looking to expand as we are now looking for more commentators to help out with all series across the board. So if you guys know anybody that is looking to start their broadcast career or is currently in broadcasting, tell them to message me. Discord link is in the bio here on Twitch. Discord link is also in the bio on YouTube. So feel free to join the Man Cave and get up with T-Bone himself. David Callahan choosing the low side again. Chad Bass back up to the high side. Pace car off. Veterans United Craft Brewery restart zone, this time by. We are going back green. Callahan with another really good jump on the restart. Nine to go in stage 1. Callahan running away with the lead right now. 0.4 of a second back is Bass. Not really. Looks like he's able to make this run right now. He is in draft, so that should help on the straights. But of course, not really help much here, as this is not known to be a draft track. So he's going to have to get it all off the muscle here if he wants that lead position. Second is good, but of course, if you're not first, you're last. Bass now losing time as Crawford and Morton are going to be fighting side by side. Morton gets the pass there. There's a little bit of that two-line racing you're seeing. If you know how to pass on the bottom, you can make it happen. And a lot of times when you pass on the bottom, the guys on the top side get a little bit scared of it because a lot of people wash up the track there. So they'll normally hit their brakes and get you a good position switch there. That's what you saw from the 99 of Mark Morton. Now Mark up to second place, hawking down his teammate of David Callahan with only 6 more laps to go. 0.6 of a second and slowly gaining that time. He might be able to surpass him for the lead. Morton did pit on lap 17. David still on the fresh set of tires. 35 laps into the race. Morton off track. This most likely means his screen froze again. He's been having these problems on a weekly basis, and it is a situation that is truthfully a sad situation to see for such a strong driver, having problems with his sim, now having to catch back up. Of course, that is going to put him all the way down in 24th position with 5 laps to go, so no stage points for the 99 there unless a caution comes out, which I highly doubt. 38 of Chad Bass back in second with 4 laps to go. 1.4 seconds back from the 24 David Callahan in the lead. Garrett Crawford in third and Christopher DeWald in fourth. Now it's going to be eyes on DeWald. Is he going to be able to pass the 69 of Crawford in the corners? Is he going to have to try to do it on the straight? .64 of Mike Nitti just behind DeWald. DeWald don't make the pass. Nitti will. Boxes him to the outside. Nitti trying to make the pass, going into 4th place now. Currently over DeWald, gets clear and also gets 3rd as well. So he's really moving up right there. 2 positions within just 1 corner. 2 laps to go though. Nitti is 1.7 back and pulling time off. Already catching the 38 of Chad Bass's bumper. Nitti making another good pass there in the straight, going to the corner. And a caution out in the back of the field somewhere. This there it is, DJ Norris. We're going to have to back it up rewind style. DJ Norris not expecting a little bit of a check up there from the wall, which caused him to get loose off the 69's left rear. So Garrett Crawford and DJ Norris around that time. If I'm not mistaken, with the way laps are going, pits should be closed until we finish lap 40. So the stage should finish. Stage will go to David Callahan for the win. Mike Nitti in second, Bass in third, DeWald in fourth, Damon Dean in fifth, Pinola in sixth, Landers in seventh, Randall claiming the 8th spot, and Aaron Wright and Jared Smith rounding out your top 10 for first stage points. Now with caution being out, pits are open. We're going to head to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for the start of Stage 2. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back on ARN.
You know Toyota has 3 NASCAR Cup teams? We got Team 2311, owned by this guy, and 3-time Daytona winner Denny Hamlin. But Denny Hamlin races for another team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Yeah, Super Bowl winning head coach Joe Gibbs. And they both share the track with Legacy Motor Club, co-owned by 7-time Cup champ Jimmy Johnson. 3 epic teams, 4 legendary owners, all going after 1 cup. Now you're up to speed. You in?
Hendrick.
Summer is here and you've got places to go.
She's headed to a golf tournament.
This one's headed to the beach.
And he's headed to a music festival.
And they know every good road trip starts right here.
At Hendrick Automotive Group.
We'll check your battery, tire pressure, top off your fluids,
Check your cooling system.
And do a multi-point inspection.
extending the life of your vehicle, and keeping you safe anywhere you want to go.
For free.
Just make sure you're road ready. All good road trips start here.
Book your road ready appointment today at hendrickcars.com.
Last year, Ram killed the Hemi V8, and people had opinions. The same people that killed the Hemi sent me out here with these comments. That's not happening. We own it, we got it wrong, and we're fixing it. You hear that? That's our Hemi, and it's saying, I'm back.
Did he say what I think he said? That thing's not a Hemi!
Hell yeah, it does. You want more? Buckle up. Ram's coming back to NASCAR. Let's go. We're back in America's motorsport. The Hemi's back, and we ain't going anywhere.
Here we go. Back to green now. Stage 2 about to be underway. We are just slightly over. Because of that last caution, we had to extend that caution for pits to open. If you're just rejoining us now, welcome back Green flag out for stage 2 at this point in time. Callahan beat Nitty out of pits literally by 1,000th of a second to still remain in first place now. So Callahan in the lead, Nitty in second, DeWalt in third, and we already have the first caution of stage 2 out. Brianna Lauren involved in this wreck, as well as the 23 of John Marino. Here's a view of that caution with the 6. Oh, it actually happened up front even earlier. It looks like the 81 actually started that caution of Chad Leary. That was the 5 and the 81 that both started that caution. Let's try to look at the chopper cam here. The 5 came down onto the 81 and spun across his nose. The 5, who is supposed to be the 23 of John Marino, causing the 5th caution that time. Most likely will get an EOL when he gets back on the track after repairing some of that damage. David Callahan still in your lead at this point in time. Still a lot of racing action to go here. 85 laps for stage 2. It's going to be long stints here tonight. Now choose cone, ready to go, back green one more time. 5th caution of the night so far. We'll be back green in the Veterans United restart zone. This time to the line. Here we go. David Callahan, 2 lime green cars. Callahan and Nitty. Green flag back out on David Callahan. The 24 didn't get the jump of a lifetime that time. 64 of Nitty, not too far behind. Still a lot of racing left to go. Only 49 laps of the race done out of 165, 9 out of 85 for this stage. So there's still a lot of racing to go. 64 already diving to the inside of Callahan. They are side by side. 64 to the quarter panel. Almost spun himself out there. 24 Callahan going to be able to run away with the lead just a little bit longer. But now Nitty's going to track him down even harder to try to get that spot back. Nitty, of course, your pole sitter on the night. And he's looking and expecting to finish there as well. They are still fighting for the lead right now. 64 actually gets it by close call with the 87 of Christopher DeWald. He had to hit his brakes a little bit there to not wreck out. Now he's falling back. 38 of Chad Bass almost just spun him there. 38 going to the inside. Very close calls early on here. They are driving their hearts out on the track. They are too wide. Jesse Singleton able to make it by the 19 of Damon Dean, falling down about 3 positions now. They were stacking pretty hard there. 19 still falling down. He blocks the 18 of Jared Smith. 99 of Mark Morton going to the outside. 19 coming back up the track, but stays off the 99. Not much room there. Holding him to the high side pretty strong. Morton going to have to get around these drivers, possibly in trouble here as the 19 has been struggling those last 2 laps to keep it together, but finally gets it together. Back single file now. Damon all the way down to 8th, where he originally started the race. Aaron Wright currently sitting in 13th place right now, just behind Stephen Jack, the 64 of Mike Nitti Jr., running away with the race at this point in time. Now the 64 of Mike Nitti Jr. rolling away with it in the front. Already 0.6 of a second on a gap to the 24 of Callahan in second place. DeWald in third and Chad Bass in fourth. Singleton rounding out your top 5. Lap 16 of 85 so far. So far, so good. Not much of a break within the field. Of course, looking to the blimp cam, we're going to have to zoom that blimp cam out just a little bit for you guys to get an accurate view of what the field's looking like right now following the 51. You see all the top 5 drivers right there on your screen. Big spreads between all of them. Back it out a little bit to where they look like ants. And there's not much of a difference. The last car now just passing the halfway point on the backstretch. So there's a lot of driving left to go. Leaders now coming back across the line as we're still following the 51. But just look at everybody entering 3 and 4. There is a big gap between cars, almost at least a 2 second and a half length, I would say, between all drivers on field now. So it could be a little bit difficult the later on this race gets for these drivers, as they're kind of already starting to experience some of the fall off, some of the runs, some of the, of course, situations that we kind of expected to face here at Darlington. Looking at the gyro cam of the 51, not much in front of him. Chad Bass following now. Just in front of him is Christopher DeWald, who we're currently looking at now. To David Callahan in front. And then just in front of Callahan is going to be Mike Nitti Jr. Of course, looking at the camera. Get you a good set here for the driver cam. Roll bar driver cam looking pretty clean as always. Still following the in-car cam of David Callahan right now. Now, David Callahan holding on to second pretty strongly here. Will he be able to claim the lead back is the looking back in the sky right now to the leaders. David Callahan currently in second place. Mike Nitti Jr. in first. Callahan holding really good together in the Robin Hood number 24 Dunder Mifflin truck of Mike not too far in front. While we're still in the sky, looking at Christopher DeWald. He's in third. Chad Bass sitting in fourth place. There's a lot of smoke right now on the front stretch. Could be clearing from a driver's spin. Looked like a little bit of a situation for Nitti there. Don't know if he connected with the wall. But of course, now lost a little bit of time to Callahan, not too far behind. Looking at the camera for Mike Nitti Jr. right now, looking back towards David Callahan. That is the gap between drivers. That is a close-up gap between the drivers right now. 24 of Callahan, literally just 1/10 of a second, now 2/10 of a second behind. And there's not much of a difference in skill set between these two. Callahan, a really strong driver at short tracks. We've seen it before. We're looking at it now, watching and hoping that he will be able to gain the lead back at any point in time. Almost had a quick bump there, had to control himself on it. They're starting to catch up in the top three. The number 5, I think that's the 6 of Brianna Laurent. That is lap traffic in front, holding up the top three. Does not seem to be lifting there, riding the wall in the preferred line. So now able to get around. Top 4 drivers able to get around the lap traffic car and maintain their positional gaps. Callahan has currently gained not much time, actually. He's about 0.3 now behind. He's lost the position to Christopher DeWald. DeWald sliding back up in there at a good point in time. Now DeWald sitting in second. These top 4 have not really fallen off from each other's pace. Getting off these top 10 right now, let's look at 10th place, Mark Randall. There is a big pack here behind Mark Randall. They are actually side by side right now for position. 78 of Aaron Wright making the pass on Randall to gain a position back up into 11th. Lap 29 out of 85. As there's a little hit to the wall from the 77 of Steven Jack. Didn't lose much time nor check up the field. Randall not able to get that run on the high side. Goes low, try to gain as much time back, but he's already lost at least 3 to 4 positions. Now 4 and now 5. To the back of the pack he goes. There is a car with some network connection issues just in front. Looks to be the 82 of DJ Norris, who is a lap down right now. Mike Nitti and Christopher DeWald side by side for the lead. DeWald just had the lead. Nitti takes it back to Wald again. Now it's Callahan side by side passing Nitti for second. Now, of course, Nitty down 2 positions. Christopher DeWald in the lead. This was your ARCA winner last night, trying to go back-to-back here. It's a bit of a feat. We still have a lot of racing left in Stage 2. Can't really make that decision yet or that call. He's just going to have to patiently wait and see if he's going to be able to get this. Callahan going back to the inside now with a little bit of a slingshot there. Gets clear. Finally comes back up to hold and solidify that position. Lap 34 now officially underway. Right times 2:25 for the right time. T. Elliot Truck Series now currently underway. We are going to go to a commercial break. Get your drinks, get your snacks, go to the bathroom. We'll be back with more racing action in just a few minutes.
Musket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Got a great car, great team. Let's go execute. It's our time. We know what we got to do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
We'll fight right to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The after-catcher will count out anybody who wants it the most.
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out.
Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
You're gonna say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Now we're back to green after that caution there. Taylor Minor with a little bit of incident. Back green in the Veterans United restart zone. Caution happened after we hit commercial break, so I'll go back and show you it right now. Taylor Minor made contact with the 68 as the 68 spun around. And that's what led to that caution. Now, of course, halfway through this stage, David Callahan and Mark Morton fighting for the lead. Two teammates back to back right now. 99 gets the advantage over the 24 right now, holding the lead. Callahan has led 34 laps of this race so far. Morton has held none. Singleton with a little bit of contact to the wall. The 38 of Chad Bass just bounced off of him there. Singleton running out of room on that high side, too wide there, held it together. Now Mike Nitti going to be making a good run here. 51 of Singleton goes down and blocks it with a 64. Going to have a really good momentum into this corner. Now holding on strong. Jesse into the wall, managed to save it. Someone we haven't seen much of tonight. The 42 of Mickey Stewart, currently sitting in 18th place, man. Got to show my brother some love here. Bouncing around up to Nathan McGee in 14th place right now. Steven Jack in front, Kevin Nelf behind. Mark Randall side by side right now on the bottom side. Lap 86 out of 165. .46 out of 85. We are over halfway. Mike Nitti with stage number 2. So of course, we had a little technical issue right there. Lap 85 was the caution, so stage 2 was 45 laps. Stage 2 goes to Mike Nitti Jr. with David Callahan in second. Pits are open now for the guys. So now we will figure out who is going to be getting this exit. Of course, Mike Nitti did qualify in first, so he is in the first pit stall. Callahan and Nitti out. Nitti will retain first place. Then it goes to Callahan, Morton, Bass, Dean. In top 5, just outside, Singleton, Smith, Landers. Nathan McGee in 9th. And Brianna Laurent rounding out the top 10. Now, of course, taking us to stage 3. Oh, this is about to be fun on the backstretch. Look at the sun in the cockpit view for these drivers. On the outside of the fence, flash warning for anybody with epilepsy. The outside of the fence is going to be difficult as these guys are all in pure sunlight. You're not going to be able to see anything in front of you to an extent until you hit that little building right there, and then it all goes away. So almost the entire backstretch to the entry of 3 is going to be very, very difficult to watch. Back live in the Veterans United restart zone, this time by is Mike Nitti. Let's go ahead and go back. Let's follow Mickey and go to the cockpit view and see how it actually is racing here with the sun. Sun is god awful. The sun is god awful, man. .75 laps left to go. In the right time, 2:25 here in Darlington, South Carolina. Big caution. Wreck is out. What? Big wreck. Caution is out. I just said that backwards as hell. Seems to be Mark Randall with a little bit of miscalculations there. Make contact with Sherrow. Sherrow double tapped him. Mark in the wall. Randall saved it, almost had it. Just overcorrected just a little bit too much. Kind of want to see the cockpit view of this. Here's the contact with Sherrow on the outside. Double tapped him. An unfortunate situation for the 21 is he's going to have a lot of damage on that truck now. Pits open this time by slew of drivers in the rear of the field going in. Mike Nitti and Callahan. Top 13 still outside. So now 8th caution out so far. Lap 92 this time by. Going to 93 as they cross the line for choose code. Nitti going to take the bottom, Callahan to the outside. Now into the restart zone this time by. We're going to be back green. Mike Nitti Jr., your control car, Callahan to the outside. These two have been fighting for a long time. Green flag out now. The Veterans United restart zone. And caution flag back out now. Looking at the 78 of Aaron Wright for the restart this time. Aaron takes the 21 of Mark Randall out after just getting most of that damage fixed. See if anybody else was involved in this accident as well. Yeah, tough situation there for some drivers as well. Mark stopped in the middle of the track. A lot of drivers getting involved in that as well. Brianna Laura and Laird Landers all getting involved. So 2 separate incidences now. Caution going to be extended by about 4 laps. Ninth caution now this time, back-to-back cautions pretty quick here. Now choose cone, going to be this time by. I think we have about 2 more laps of pacing. Should be choose this time. Okay, 2 to green now. I've got confirmation. 2 to green now. We've got to wonder what is going to happen here going forward. Going back to green now in the restart zone. Spot by Veterans United Craft Brewery. Mike Nitty takes us back to green. And we officially have a modified on the track tonight. Mark Randall now missing a fender. Tyler Reddick style. Missing a fender, Tyler Reddick style, is unfortunately not the pinnacle scheme. He should have ran that scheme. It would have been very fitting for him here tonight. Of course, 65 more laps to go in the race. Will we stay green? Will we have more problems? Will we have more spins? That is the biggest question right now. The leaders have nothing to worry about as all of this is happening behind them. 102 laps out of 165 laps already done here tonight. Now Nitty in the lead. Mike Nitty has had a really good race here tonight. 64 laps out of 104 he has led. David Callahan has picked up 36 for himself. Jesse Singleton in third has not touched the lead yet, and Chad Bass in fourth has not either. Fifth place, Christopher DeWald has only had 2 laps in the lead. Now, of course, Nitty getting the job done here. Callahan not too far behind, though. It's something you have to watch out for. Callahan is a sneaky man. He will pop up when he needs to. Callahan currently sitting 4th in points. Just 91 points behind the leader and 29 points behind Singleton. Now Callahan takes the lead back on the bottom side. Singleton starting to get into it. 38 in the wall in the back. Will he save it? I believe he did. Bass lost a lot of time there with that wiggling after that wall hit. Now the 19 is going to try to dive low and get the run. This has been a good race, even with all of the cautions. This has been a really good race so far. Trying to hold on to the lead now is Callahan with 0.3 of a second gap over Singleton in second. 81 now lap traffic in front. The 81 does dive down. That's Chad Leary. He goes under the apron, lets all the drivers pass, so no fight there. He's going to almost spin it, saves it on the apron. Good job to the 81. That's a difficult way to have to maneuver it there, especially when you're passing leaders. Right time, 2:25, now at lap 109. 110 this time across the line. Callahan doing a really good job in the front of the field, not really letting anybody bother him back there. He's doing pretty good. Still has a lot to hold on to. We're still not done yet. It's about 55 laps left of racing to go. Of course, Callahan adding a lot more points onto himself for the night. Already had good stage finishes. Of course, the question here being, is anybody else going to be able to pass him? far, so good for the drivers here. We've been green for a pretty long time. Mike Nitti currently sitting in third, so there's a lot left to go. Jesse Singleton in second place right now. Callahan still in the lead with Mike Nitti Jr. holding on comfortably to third. Still has a lot to give if he wants to get up to that position to be able to take that lead back. Still a lot of time to do so. Lap 116. About 50 laps left to go. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with more racing action here for Right Times Truck Series. The Right Time 225. We'll be back in just 3 minutes. Don't go nowhere.
Got a great car, great team. Go execute.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day, being Victor Lane.
The after jets are don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory this will be.
Next flag is going to hit.
Does he have enough? Let's go! A dominant performance. They're going to say no, baby. Let's go!
You gotta earn this thing.
It is all on the table.
Oh no. We're back green here now. Lap 123. We finally got a commercial break where no caution happened. 43 laps remaining. At least one more pit cycle for all drivers included. And we will be able to call a winner in most likely the next 30 minutes. Looking at our race analysis up to this point in time, or our race recap up to this point in time, excuse me. Your current leader, David Callahan, coming back from that commercial break. We've had 9 cautions for only 31 laps of pacing at 165. And of course, 7 lead changes on the night. Weather probably still the same here. 90 degrees, 78% humidity. Really hasn't changed much. Of course, no wind up to this point in time. 165 laps to be done here, and we are almost to that point. Pit cycle starting now. Jesse Singleton in, Jared Smith in, Pinola in now. DeWald and Blake Sharrow all in pits. Pit cycle's already starting. Leaders having to be coming in soon. Last time these top 6 have pitted was at lap 87. So we are getting to that point where the last pit cycles are now officially starting to begin the end of the race, the end of the era for most of these cars. Callahan has about held almost every lap since this stage 3 has started. He is now up to 57, started his stage with about only 23 laps, 24 laps in the lead. So he's up a good margin right now. Mitty is in second place, but has a few lap traffic cars in front of him. He has led 66 laps, but he's 2 seconds back from the bumper of David Callahan. Damon Dean in third with about a lap or two, 1 or 2 lapped cars in between him. He's in third. About 2.5 seconds maybe to the leader at this point in time. Chad Bass in fourth. And of course, Nathan McGee rounding out your top 5. Not many drivers on lead lap. Only 7 drivers actually on lead lap. Aaron Wright in the 78 is the first car a lap down. He has pitted at lap 92, so he's in the good for the rest of the race. Tires are going to be the question though. Is Aaron going to be able to make it on the tire run? Obviously, gas run's going to be good. He might be running conservative here. You're not seeing him apex all the way to the top. That middle line is really the sweet spot of the track. So, of course, he could make a big comeback once these leaders officially go in pits. He'll cycle to the lead as long as he can get his lap back within enough time and put some distance on Callahan, Nitty, Damon, Bass, McGee, Minor, and Knopf, who are all on lead lap, but definitely going to need tires. So their pit cycles are most likely going to look to be maybe about a 16.2, 16.5. So there is opportunity, ample amount of opportunity for Wright to be able to pull up some of that lead right now. Callahan having to consistently keep fighting around lap traffic. He's finding his way around them, but of course it's going to be hurting him on time. Mike Liddy is now only 1.4 seconds off the bumper of the 24. That's most likely due to a lot of that lap traffic. There's Nitty on your screen right there, just passing the start-finish line. I would say good racing in total. Probably not the best racing that everybody expected from the Premier Series, being this Trucks Series. But of course, still a good run on the week for the Trucks at a very difficult track here. Have about 32 laps left to go. Callahan right now possibly destined for the win. If everything goes his way, still has that pit cycle to go. Still passing a lot of that lap traffic. Now the 33 of Blake Sherrow just in front. Sherrow openly not a fan of DCR. So you've got to wonder if they're actually going to fight Callahan here. Is he going to let him go by? Oh, excuse me. I'm following Nitty. Their cars look very similar. Callahan already passed. Callahan actually into pits this time. Leader now in pits. Mike Nitty going to go around again. Damon Dean is staying out as well. Chad Bass will come in this time. Nathan McGee looks to be staying on track as he enters 3 and 4. So now Aaron Wright. Aaron Wright at 135. Trying to go around to get some of that time back on Callahan. He could make some of his time back up here. He's got to dig deep a little bit. Officially 30 laps to go this time. Right now advancing above Bass. Callahan still above. Now he passes Callahan. Wright has a big deal behind him now. Jesse Singleton on the bottom side making a run. I believe that's also Christopher DeWald. It is Christopher DeWald. Just behind Singleton that just passed Aaron Wright. Wright now moving into second place. Callahan's going to take that spot back. Mike Nitty Jr. still not into pits. 29 laps to go. You've got to wonder, is Mike trying to do a two-tire strategy here? The entire field currently a lap down due to the 64. If a caution were to come out right now, only David Callahan would get his lap back. That would only be 2 drivers, practically solidifying the rest of the drivers a lap down unless another caution comes back. Now Mike gonna have to go to pitch soon. He is 42 seconds in front of David Callahan. David Callahan pulling a lot of time off now. Now down to 41.8. So now this is the biggest question. What is going to happen if a caution does come out? Callahan diving low, get around. Singleton does it around. The 77 is Jack as well. Passes the 42 of Mickey Stewart like he was standing still there. Callahan on a run now, trying to get that lead position back. He already knows the more time he can make up to Mike before he goes and pits, the better. Mike Nitty now in pits this time, which means these drivers are now slowly going to get their lap back. It's going to go to Ray, Pinola, Callahan, Bass, Damon Dean, McGee. All within your top 5 when Nitty goes a lap down. pits now. Callahan entering 3 and 4, coming to the front stretch. It should be close here. Callahan just passes. Chad Bass passes Nitty on the re-entrance. Nitty still holding on to third strong. Aaron Wright really fell down into 13th place. Four laps to go. Only 6 cars on the lead lap now. There is a lot of time difference between these drivers. With 23 laps left, we're going to knock out the last commercial break of the night. And we'll be back green for the rest of the right time 225, because it is getting to that point of the night where it is anybody's fight if a caution comes out. Do not go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the end of this race. We'll be back in just a few moments.
Great car, great team. Go execute. Time to turn the intensity up. Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day, be in victory lane.
The after-jets are don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
What a victory
15 laps to go now. David Callahan still in the lead. Mike Nitti, during that caution, pulled almost 3.5 seconds off, but he's also used about 5 laps to do it. The 78 of Aaron Wright just made a little bit of contact with the 24 there. Kept it clean, but that's also going to let Mike now catch up time. He's under 6 seconds of a difference to Callahan. Aaron not moving out of the way for the leader. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt Callahan. Callahan went up there. Aaron kind of went up too. It seems like Aaron is blocking the 24. Now David going to go down on the bottom side to get it done, but that has cost him 2 seconds of time from the first and second place sitter of Mike Nitti and David Callahan. "13 laps to go, 12 this time past the line." Aaron Wright in the draft of the 24, now falling off just a little bit, still there, but now Callahan doesn't have anything to worry about. Mike Nitti down to 4.6 seconds. He has passed almost all of the lap traffic, if I'm not mistaken, and he is clean to go green all the way up to the bumper of David Callahan. Callahan trying to make this run count. He knows those tires are a little bit older than Nitti's, roughly about 12 lap older tires. "11 laps to go this time by now." Mike Nitti just 3.91. Already down to 3.59. Nitti will catch Callahan at least before we get to lap 5 left to go. Now looking at Mike Nitti. He's now coming up on the 78, who we did see block the 24 earlier, just running his line in the middle. Will he block the 64? Uses the high side. Mike's going to pass on the low. Not able to get all the way around. Clear that time by on the low side. So now Nitti, 3.1 second difference with 9 laps to go. At this pace, he should catch him before lap 7. Looking at the gearbox, you see Mike Nitti back there, not by much time. No one in front of Callahan for a little bit. You can now just start slightly seeing Callahan in the camera of Nitti. David has it in the bag right now. 81 laps led, opposed to Mike's 73. 8 laps to go. 2.36 seconds of a gap. 33 of Blake Sherrill now separates Sherrill, staying to the bottom side, so Mike's going to be able to pass, not losing any time. This is literally a nail biter. Mike now under 2 seconds to the rear bumper of Callahan with 6 laps to go. This actually looks like it might be closer than what we expected. He might catch him at the 5-4 mark. 1.38 of a second. You can see Callahan just in front now. Lap traffic all around. At least 2 more cars Callahan has to pass in lap traffic. He's passing the 18 right now. Gets around him pretty clean, but you can still see him in Mike's camera feed. There is the 6 car of Brianna Lawrence going to the bottom, letting Mike pass. Now the 18 just in front. Callahan has 1 more lapped car in front of him, but Nitty slowly approaching. Now under 1.2 seconds of a gap with 5 laps to go. Nitty forced to use the bottom side there as the 18 went to the high side. He is now around. There is nobody between the leader and second place. 4 laps to go. 3 this time by the line. This might be an Atlanta photo finish if Mike Nitty has the opportunity to make that happen. 0.8 seconds and slowly losing. David Callahan in the lead. The man on a mission. Team already holding the points strong. It is DCR against the world right now, as no one really wants to see them prevail. But with 3 laps to go, this is Callahan's time to shine. Only half a second is Mike Nitty on the rear bumper of Callahan. Will he be able to hold it out strong? 73 laps, like we said, for Nitty. But Callahan has the advantage on lap sled right now, does not have the advantage on tires. Nitty closing in here now. We've seen Nitty be able to pass on the high side. We've seen him be able to pass on the low side. Will Callahan try to run that median line and hold up the entirety of the track? Callahan into the wall. That's not good. Mike has just caught up a lot of time to Callahan as he hit the wall there, trying to figure out where Mike's going to go. White flag out. No more cautions can come out and decide the factor of this race. It is just these 2 on the track right now. Literally 1/10 of a difference between each other. Both mirroring each other on the final lap. Mike going to make a move in 3 and 4. We all know it. Will he go to the apron? Goes down to the bottom. He's going to be able to get the pass. They're going to be side by side, just barely. Not going to be able to make the pass. David Callahan to the front stretch. Mike Nitty with no move. Callahan gets the win after a tough-fought battle for the last 30 laps of this race. Jesus Christ. What a race finish. Callahan with an insane performance there with the last 30 laps, was able to take the win over Mike Nitty by 0.13 of a second. Nitty caught up as fast as possible on that white flag lap Of course, sponsored by Decals Paint and Photoshops. We'll take a look at that white flag lap one more time before we get to interviews here. Across the line, white flag out there. Callahan did touch the wall before this white flag lap. It cost a lot of time to himself. Then looking here, Nady had a really good run coming out of this corner. Of course, going into 3 and 4, that's normally where you do expect the run. Mike sitting comfortably behind, made a little bit of a run. You saw him get back on the gas, just not enough. Callahan used that middle lane to block, and of course was able to cross the line, but not by a big margin. David Callahan Racing does it again, another week in a row, with another win here in the trucks. Unstoppable. First win for Callahan here tonight as well. Of course, David Callahan taking the win here. Mike Nitty Jr. finishing in second. Chad Bass in third. Damon Dean in fourth. Ray Pinola rounding out your top 5. But of course, we're only getting the top 3 interviews. That being Chad Bass, Nitty, and Callahan last, but not least. We've got 2 out of the 3 drivers ready to go. Top 3 drivers not here, so we're going to go to Chad Bass. Our 3rd place finisher, 2nd place finisher is not in the waiting room. So, of course, we're going to pull up the 38 of Chad Bass, our 2nd place finisher here, our 3rd place finisher here tonight.
Yes,
Chad,
sir.
it's Tyler up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Insane race. Great racing in general, not only from you, but for a lot of the guys. You finished 2 positions up from where you gridded. Kind of take us through how the race felt for you tonight in that 38 truck.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't really try to push anything until, kind of after that last stop. I mean, to be truthfully honest, the way these last few races have been, it's been kind of a joke. So it's nice to have a good one where, we got a lot of green runs, and I wasn't in the last race, but, tonight I thought was a good race.
Now, of course, Darlington, a very difficult track. Of course, not too many weeks ago was this track on the officials list for C Open and fixed. So drivers had the opportunity to get some official practice in before the race here today. How, of course, that race being a night races at Darlington are way different than a day race. How did that difference kind of impact the trucks?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely less grip, which I would prefer it that way. So I thought it was better. I didn't run any of the officials. The first time I came out here this time was tonight. So I can't really gauge it based off of that, but I like it better in the day. I like it slick.
Now, of course, hitting another week off of the schedule, this was race 6. Race 5 at Dover last week. Like you said, you weren't there, but that was also another difficult race to kind of have to maneuver. Currently looking for you on the points list here. You were 12th after Dover, so you're still sitting comfortable. Probably not as comfortable as you want to be. Still don't have that win on the season. How do you feel like tonight's performance is going to impact you, not only on the points, but, the morale going forward for a pretty good top 3 finish, as you only have, I believe you don't have a top 5 finish, so this would be your first one.
Yeah, I had it top 10s until RP was running top 5 there and got taken out at the end. So yeah, I mean, I've been up there. I'm feeling pretty good. Next week is gonna kind of be a joke. I mean, dirt with some of these guys is gonna be tough. So yeah, we'll just see how next week goes and figure it out after that.
Now, of course, still a lot of racing left on the schedule here. We have, like you said, Eldora, which is going to be difficult next week, especially on dirt. Not many of the drivers have had experience with trucks on dirt. And of course, we still have some pretty heavy hitters before we get into the playoffs. You have Nashville the week after Eldora, and then Bristol finishing out April's race, and then the last race before we go into the playoffs at Richmond. So how are you feeling with, week 8 through 10 on, possibility of getting a first win and kind of really locking yourself into that playoff position, not having to worry about the points?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. There's some good guys up there. So I mean, I'll have my work cut out for me to get a win. But if I can keep knocking out these top 5s, I love all those tracks. Anything that eats the tires and uh, you have to save a little bit and be patient. I feel like that's kind of where I do best at. So all those tracks I'm looking forward to, like them all. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can just keep knocking off good finishes.
And of course, second to last question before we let you go here. We had a lot of green flag runs tonight. Of course, only nine cautions for 31 laps of pacing, I do believe. So that's really still 130 laps of pure green flag runs. How did you feel with the pit cycles? Were you comfortable going in and coming out, or did you feel like some of your position loss or gain during those cycles kind of made you have to change strategy, dig a little bit deeper?
No, I felt pretty good about that. We had a bunch of cautions right there at the start of stage 2. So I decided to kind of stretch it out a little bit and make sure I had fresher tires at the end. And I was a little surprised because a couple guys that were around me pitted before me, and I figured they would come out in front. But after the cycle, I came out third, so I felt like all that went good. Strategy played out kind of how I wanted it to. I wanted a long green run and green flag pit stop because I felt like that would be, that would kind of separate people, and it did. So yeah, it worked out good.
And of course, before we let you go, enjoy the rest of your Thursday night for a good weekend ahead. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody possibly watching out there, or any of your fans?
Yeah, my wife and kids in there, and I know they're up watching because they don't have school tomorrow. So uh, Sarah, Maverick, Sophia, JoJo, my little nephew Davis, he watches all these races in the morning. So what's up to all y'all? Hope you liked it.
Well, of course, valiant effort for a top 3 finish here tonight. Of course, first top 3 on the season. So, of course, it wasn't the win, but still a lot of season highlights for you left to go, even in the playoffs, as you're definitely going to boost yourself on points tonight and give yourself a little bit more of a cushion. Definitely look forward to seeing, not outside of Eldora, definitely look forward to seeing what the last 3 to 4 races of the schedule are going to have in store for you. And hopefully we're talking to you up here in the booth again, whether that's for another top 3 finish or for your first win on the season.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. It definitely won't be next week, but I'll see you the week after maybe.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
That was the 38 of Chad Bass. Started in 5th place. Had a really good run, of course. Saw him kind of in between the middle of the field for a while. He did have a few mishaps, almost collecting the wall at some points in times, as Darlington is looser on that top side, but obviously held it all together where it meant the most and was able to pull a top 3 out. Now, of course, Mike Nitti not around. That's why that top 3 interview was a little bit longer than normal for that one driver. But hey, it's his first time in here. He deserves the spotlight, especially with family and kids and friends watching. So, shout out to you, Chad. Definitely look forward to seeing what you have in store for us the rest of the season. Looking on the man who has finally put himself in victory lane. The one that owns the most dominant team right now in right time, who just got a win off a .13 second gap. That is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of Decals, Peyton Photoshops, a prime sponsor here on the Asphalt Racing Network, the number 24 of David Callahan.
Whew, how's it going?
That should be my question to you. It was
that was wild to say the least.
Mike you had a 9.5 second gap on Mike Nitti with about 30 laps to go. Sat here up in the booth watching the time just toll off and knowing that Mike had about 12 lap fresher tires than you did, which really made the difference. You had to fight a lot more lap traffic than he did. It seemed like some really just didn't want to move. You were having to figure out a way around them. For you, it seemed like for him, it was kind of a little bit easier. How are you feeling about those last like 20 to 30 laps there?
Yeah, it felt like you were getting stalked. It was just staring at the laps, staring at the telemetry, at the relative, and also looking out front, trying to kind of weave your way through all the lap cars, because the closing rate with these new tires compared to old tires, speed in general was very fast. So having to be patient, pick and choose where to pass, finishing the race with a 0x is very tough to do here. But, luckily I showed a lot of patience, had a really good strategy coming in, really good adjustments, in practice all week. And, me, Mike, and Mark, I feel like had the trucks to beat. Unfortunately, Mark kind of had an early exit, which is unfortunate, but I'm glad I was able to hang on and outlast Nitti. Most of the lap cars helped us out. There was at least one that did not make it easy to pass. But other than that, man, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I mean, right now, after that, you're still currently sitting 4th in points. Now 40 behind the leader, only 13 behind Jesse Singleton. Nitti now knocking on the door of Morton, only 5 points behind. It's a little shook up now. Of course, the top 5 have not moved. You are all in the same positions you were entering this race on points. Of course, you getting that first win of the season, really solidifying the playoff run now. Do you feel like that might take away from you next week in Eldora? Because we didn't expect you, nor did you expect yourself to possibly have, the Darlington win in the bag. We know you're good at short tracks, but even you yourself were questioning the Darlington win.
Yeah, no, I have ran several officials here. I think I might have mentioned that last week, and I'm comfortable here, but I've never really labeled myself as being fast here. But I knew with practice, because if I can keep up with Mark, I know I can probably keep up with the front of the field. And I was able to run very similar times, if not beat his time. So that just kind of built my confidence right there. But I know Nitty's going to be fast every week. He's fast week in and week out. And I was praying that it wasn't going to be another coda where I win a stage, I lead the most laps, and then here he comes at the end, and gets by me. But luckily that wasn't the case. I was able to hold him off. If there was another lap, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. But I'm very fortunate that I was able to hold him off, and I want to give a shout out to most of the lap cars for getting out of the way and for communicating and telling us where to go.
No, of course, the pit cycles. You guys had about 40 laps left in the race before those pit cycles really opened. We saw a lot of people dive down early. You being one of them, being I think the first in pits at that last pit cycle. We expected Nitty to go around another time or so to keep that gap on. When you went into pits and he didn't, did you have to readjust that strategy, or were you kind of expecting him to do that?
Honestly, I really wasn't sure. I think the biggest weakness with my, I guess you could say, game is pit strategy. With Mark's early exit, he's a lot better at pit strategy than me, so sometimes I depend on him for that. But the lap that I needed to pit, I could have probably went another 7-ish laps like Nitty did. I wasn't expecting to have that big of a lead come when he went in and I passed him, but I think it was the right move. If I probably should have stayed a little bit longer, and then maybe the lead wouldn't have been as big. There's a lot of what ifs, but not gonna complain when I think I had the right strategy whenever I crossed the line first. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Now, of course, first win in the books, another top five for you. You're sitting with 271 points in total. Of course, you have this 5 bonus points right now, consistent 0x's. What can we really look forward to seeing from you for the rest of the season now? I mean, this is the third podium for you, 2 stage finishes. I mean, you have a really good stats right now. I mean, kind of almost mirroring your teammate of Mark Morton, just missing one win, and of course about 5 bonus points. But you guys are practically mirror image of each other on points. So like, with these next 4 to 5 weeks before we hit that first round, what can we expect out of David Callahan?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to kind of keep this momentum up. Not only with the good finishes, but the clean racing. That also comes into play with the bonus point, things like that, and also keeping your truck clean. There's no mulligans here. The cleaner you keep your truck, you'll be at the front, near the front at the end. That's my main goal, is to keep it clean. And the good finishers are just going to follow. If you have speed, even a little bit of speed, you don't have to be a top 3 truck, but if you're in the top 5, top 7 speed wise, and you keep your truck clean, more than likely you'll finish top 5. But yeah, I mean, just expect the same that you've gotten. Maybe another win, maybe another 2 wins. I expect Mark to do the same. Once he gets his stuff figured out, then I mean, you'll definitely keep seeing it'll be this on repeat. So really looking forward to the second half of the season. Eldor's next. Really looking forward to that one. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the throwback race. Looking forward to seeing all the paint schemes out there. Same with the patriotic race coming up at Richmond. So I'm very excited for the rest of the season. See what me and my team can do.
Now, kind of wavering back to the race here tonight, something I really didn't ask you much. Of course, the officials this season for the fixed and the open for the trucks was a night race. That was practically the most unforgiving track ever possible. It was really hard to keep tires under you. We saw a lot of that within the practice session before we went to qualifying, with 1 and 2 being the wreck point, the point of no return for those right rears. How did you feel the truck did on the track during the day here?
Oh, phenomenal. Me and Mark, we tested with different adjustments, different lines, different, braking points, different strategies. And I feel like we figured out the combination, after, I don't know, 80 to 100 laps of practice the other night. So that's just all it takes, just give yourself practice laps, try different things. Because if you just go out there and log laps, I mean, yeah, you'll learn something, but practice is for trying new things and trying to find speed where others may have not found it. So I feel like both of us, as we show, as we showed the night, we found that speed and that combination, and just some bad luck on his side, and I was able to kind of figure it out and stay up there, and you know call it a decent strategy, but but yeah, it's all about practice, figuring out where your speed's at, where your truck's what makes your truck feel the most stable, and just being consistent, saving some tire here and there, and just staying at the front, staying clean.
And of course, man, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your Thursday, probably before a work day tomorrow to wrap up the week, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to anybody?
Absolutely. You first and foremost, definitely going to watch the broadcast back. Want to shout out WTSR, all the admins, the owners. I want to shout out, Mark, obviously helping me out, helping each other out. Shout out Toyota, myself, decals, paint and Photoshop. So remember, throwback race is coming up, so be sure to join the server, put your ticket in. Same with the patriotic race that's coming up in, I don't know, maybe a month or so. So I'm got my hands full with them, but so far they're I'm sure the audience would be pretty pleased with all these throwbacks that I'm pumping out.
Well, of course, congratulations to you, man, on the first win of the season. It was a long-awaited time. It took you 6 damn weeks. It's about damn time, man.
Yeah. Hey, better late than never.
Never late is better. Of course.
I agree.
Of course, it was pretty tough. Only 0.13 of a second to the finish there, but you still were able to get it after mirror driving for almost 30 laps. So congratulations to you, man. Definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to do at Eldora, and definitely looking forward to watching you as you just printed your golden ticket to the playoffs.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again for the broadcast. So yeah, looking forward to next week, and hopefully we'll be talking again.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You do the same, bud.
That was your race winner, the 24 Mr. Decals Paint and Photoshops himself, David Callahan. After an insane finish, led 88 laps, wins by 0.13 of a second. I think the actual tower's calling 0.128. So just there, not enough for Mike at the end. He made a valiant effort to try to get that win, but just unfortunately couldn't get it done. Boris Callahan taking the win tonight. Mike Nitti Jr. finishing in second. Chad Bass in the top 3 for the first time. And then Damon Dean in fourth, with Ray Pinola rounding out your top 5. 9 cautions for 31 laps. That's 135 laps of green flag runs. No overtime here tonight. And of course, it was a fantastic race from start to finish. Of course, on behalf of everybody at Right Time Sim Racing and Asphalt Racing Network, we'd love to thank you guys for tuning in, as you always do, on a weekly basis to check us out, check them out, and watch and enjoy what these guys love to do the most. Of course, just because tonight's not over doesn't mean it's over in total. You have American Stock Car Racing Leagues on Mondays. If you haven't followed, now's your opportunity. Mondays at 9:05 for American Stock Car Racing League. Right Time ARCA will be at a fun race next week. We will pick back up on the season the week after for a points race on Wednesday. Thursdays for the Truck Series, as you just watched tonight. And, of course, Naris on Fridays for the Truck Series, and Saturdays for the Gen 6 Cup Series. This one-man show is very busy, and we appreciate everybody who stops by to enjoy just a few seconds or even hours of broadcast material. Well, that sucks, because I was just kicked out of the sim, so I can't leave you with the last white flag lap as we always do. It's an unfortunate situation, everybody, so I'm just going to leave you here so we're not looking at dead screen space. Of course, on behalf of everybody at Right Time, we like to thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with us. Drop it a follow if you do. All of our cheers for your bits, your donations, your subs, they are all very much appreciated, and they do not go unnoticed. So, of course, until next time, we definitely look forward to seeing you around with us, and we hope to see you again. Have a good night, everyone.